Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel, or welcome back to another video. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel. And while you're at it, smash that like button for me. I really would appreciate it. If you want 5 free stocks, Webull is going to give you 5 free stocks when you open up a new Webull brokerage account. Put at least 1 penny in that brokerage account. They're going to give you 5 free stocks valued up to $9,600. So after the video, I want you guys to go to the description box of the video. Click on that Webull link and go get that free stock and go get that free money. Well, guys, in today's video, we're going to talk about how to get to financial freedom in 10 years. Oftentimes, I get DMs on Instagram from subscribers saying, hey man, I'm 20 years old. How do I get to financial freedom in 10 years? By the time I'm 30. I also get the same question from folks that are a little bit more mature. People in their 50s. Hey, I'm 50 years old. I'm starting over. I want to be at financial freedom in 10 years. How do I make that happen? So I thought, why not share with you guys my opinion on how to get to financial freedom in 10 years, no matter what age you are, right? Now, if you've watched my channel for any period of time, you'll know when I'm talking about money, there are 3 things I think we all need to know how to do with money. The first thing we need to know how to do is to make money. The second thing we need to know how to do is to keep money. And the third thing we need to know how to do is multiply money. Those 3 things are really important to get to financial freedom. I don't care if you're 20 years old. I don't care if you're 50 years old. If you know how to do those 3 things, you're going to have no problem at all getting to your financial freedom. So now let's talk about how do you do it in 10 years. The number one thing you got to do, guys, you got to have income, right? There is no such thing as getting a financial freedom without having income that you can then take that income and you're going to have to invest it in assets that generate what? Passive income. See, assets that generate passive income is what creates financial freedom. Because most of us right now, we are trading time for money, right? Most of those people that contact me, they have a primary income, whether it be through their own business or whether it be through someone else's business that they're working for. So they're trading their time for a certain amount of money that takes care of them. That's not financial freedom. Financial freedom is when you can have income coming in from assets that you own, assets that actually generate income. Assets like income producing real estate or a stock market portfolio, or some type of intellectual property or royalty stream that comes into you every single month without you doing anything. See, that's passive income, right? You're not trading time for money. Your assets generate that income no matter if you do anything or not. So the number one thing, again, guys, is income. We got to have income if we plan on getting the financial freedom in 10 years. Or for that matter, in any period of time. It can be 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. That's up to you. But either way, you're going to need income, right? The next thing you're going to need to be able to do is keep it. So we talked about making money, which is your income. The next thing we're going to talk about is how do I keep that income? And the way you keep income, guys, is you got to live below your means. You got to live on less than what you make. That's right. We can't be taking this income that we're making and buying things that do not create wealth for us. We got to stop that. So that's the first thing I tell people. I don't care what age you are. If you're making income, number one, you got to make income. Number two, you got to live on less than what you make, right? So that means you're going to have to figure out a way how to keep your expenses low. And how do you do that? Well, you got to take that income and you got to have a budget. You got to put that income into a budget. And in that budget, you got to have your essential items, right? You got to have housing. You got to have food. You got to have clothing, transportation, insurance. But they need to be basic essentials, guys, right? So for example, food is a basic essential, but going out to eat to get that food is not a basic essential, right? Going to the grocery store, buying your food, bringing it home and cooking it at home, that is an essential, right? And that's what you're going to need to do, guys, if you want to get to financial freedom, right? You're going to have to make this income from trading time for money. You're going to have to live on less than what you make, which is keeping the income. And then the third thing is you got to multiply it. And the way you multiply it is simply this way. You take that money and you invest it in assets like real estate that actually produces an income to you, real estate that actually appreciates in value every year you hold that real estate. Every year you hold it, it's appreciating in value, increasing your net worth. And while you hold that real estate, it's paying you an income because you're going to be renting that real estate to a tenant who's going to pay you fair market rental rate for it. So you're going to get immediate cash flow from the rental income, which will take care of all the expenses. And then you're going to get appreciation. So that's one way to invest it. The other way is invested in the stock market. You're going to be taking a certain amount of that money every single month. And we're going to talk about that in a second. Certain amount of that money, and you're going to be putting it in through dollar cost averaging every single month. Whatever the number is, you're going to have to decide what that number is. What do you put it in the stock market? I always encourage people to start with retirement accounts like 401ks or Roth IRAs. Start with those first. Why? Because they give you tax advantages, right? If you put it in a Roth IRA, it's after tax dollars, but the money grows tax free. You never pay taxes on the growth as long as you keep it in there to a certain age. If you use 401ks, that's pre-tax dollars. It grows tax deferred. So always start with those if you are able to. The other thing you can use to grow your wealth in the stock market is a taxable brokerage account. I have a taxable brokerage account, but I also have 401ks. I also have a Roth IRA. But that taxable brokerage account is where I put all the rest of the money that I want to invest that I cannot put into my retirement accounts. So those are the three investment vehicles you would want to use first when it's time to invest in the stock market, right? And then the last thing you can invest that money in my opinion, is a business, right? You can invest it in a business that solves problems for people, a business that you create to solve problems for people. And hopefully, if it's a good business and it's the right problem you're solving, you'll be able to scale that business and you'll be able to make money that way as well. And the way you actually make money off of a business, you can make it in a couple different ways. One, obviously, you're making the actual revenue less your expenses, which is net profit from your operations, right? Remember, you solved a problem for people that they needed solving. They pay you, you give them a product or service, you manage your expenses, and hopefully at the end of the year, you have a profit. That's one way you make money from a business, from the profit, right? The other way is you scale that business to a point where it's a valuable business that people want to buy. And maybe 10 years from now, after you've grown the business, it's done well, you can sell it to someone else and really get a big stack of cash for that business, right? Because you've managed it properly. It's a profitable business. You're tired of doing it, but maybe someone else is willing to take that business on. You can sell it and make money that way as well. They call that a sort of a golden parachute, right? Right? So that's a way you can make money with a business. Now, let's give you a quick example, guys, of how all of this comes together. Quick example. Let's say you're an individual making $48,000 a year. Let's say you're a 20-year-old, or you could be a 50-year-old. It doesn't matter, right? 10 years is what matters. So you're making $48,000 a year active income, trading time for money. You want to know how in the next 10 years you can take that 48K and turn it into passive income that will be coming in, so that you don't want to trade time for money anymore. You just want to replace your active income with passive income over the next 10 years, $48,000 a year. We talked about income, which you have because you're making the 48. We talked about you got to live on less than what you make. What we also talked about was multiplying it through investing. So the last thing is, how do I take this active income and turn it into passive income, this 48K? Well, in order to do that, you need to figure out what net worth do you need to have, or assets you need to have that can generate $48,000 a year in passive income. So $48,000 a year divided by 12 is about $4,000 a month in income. So I always use the rule of 200. The rule of 200 simply states, you take the $4,000 a month that you would like to have in passive income and you times it by 200. When you do that, you get $800,000. So in order to generate $4,000 a month or $48,000 a year, I need to grow my net worth from where it's at today to $800,000 over the next 10 years. Now, the rule of 200 also states you take a conservative rate of return on that $800,000, which is about 6%. Obviously, that's pre-tax, guys. So you take the $800,000 at a conservative 6% rate of return when you get to financial freedom, and that'll generate about $48,000 a year, which will, if you divide that by 12, that's $4,000 a month. So now I know, all right, I need to grow my net worth of $800,000 over the next 10 years. And if I can get a conservative rate of return of 6%, that'll generate about $48,000 a year, divided by 12, $4,000 a month. Boom, that's my passive income. So how much money do I need to invest every single year in order to grow my assets from zero to $800,000 over the next 10 years? You got to invest $56,000 a year for 10 years with an 8% rate of return. That's going to grow your net worth to $800,000 over the next 10 years. Now, some of you might be saying, well, golly, I'm only making $48,000. How am I going to invest $56,000 for the next 10 years? Good question. You got to make more income. See, that's the key, guys. I keep telling you, the key to this whole financial freedom thing is income. Number one, you got to figure out what your financial freedom number is, which is your target amount. You got to figure out your target date, the date you want financial freedom. You know, if I'm 20, I want it in 10 years, so that's my target date. And then your target net worth is the $800,000, because that's what's going to generate the $48,000 a year. But if I'm making 48, that's not 57. Yeah, you got to make extra money. You got to make more money. And that's where side hustles come in, guys. That's where, you know, taking on a second job. That's where increasing your skill set so that you can make more money in the current profession that you're in. Right? You're going to have to put in $56,000 a year, but you're only making 48. So that means you got to increase your income, whether it be through your primary income or whether it be through side hustles or second jobs. Nevertheless, you got to make more income. It's a mindset change, right? I got to, The most important thing should be financial freedom. Knowing how to get there is the easy part. Doing what it takes to get there is the hard part. That's the hard part. That's why most people don't get there in the time frame they want to get there, is because conceptually up here, they know what they need to do. But when it comes to the behaviors that they need to adapt and use on a daily basis to get there, that's the hard part. So that's it, guys. That's how you get to financial freedom in 10 years. Now, I used $48,000. You guys plug in the numbers, right? You plug in the numbers. I used $48,000 because that was easy math for me. But even at the $48,000 in active income, if you want to turn it into passive income, guess what? You're going to have to invest $56,000 a year over the next 10 years in order to get there. Is it worth it? You got to make that choice. For me, it was worth it. But I took the route of, hey, I don't need to do it in 10 years. I'm going to go ahead and do it in 20 years. So that's what I decided to do. I did it in 20 years. And I was happy with that time frame because it didn't put a whole bunch of financial pressure on me, right? But you have to make that decision. If you want to do it in 5 years, if you want to do it in 10 years, if you want to do it in 15, 20, it all depends on your income, and it all depends on how much of that income you keep, and it all depends on how you multiply that income. Well, guys, drop me some comments. Let me know what you think about the video, and what do you think about financial freedom, and when do you want to get to your financial freedom, and what are you doing now to get yourself there? If you want those 5 free stocks from Webull, guys, click on that link down in the description box. Open up your new Webull account today. Go get that free stock. Go get that free money. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing, share the video, smash the like button. Thoughts become things. You can see it in your mind. You can hold it in your hands. You guys keep chasing your greatness. Never stop believing in yourself. I'm going to catch you on the next video. Peace. Today's video is sponsored by my company, RF Financial Consulting. And in my company, I work with individuals just like you through financial mentoring and coaching sessions. And in those 1-hour sessions, we talk about strategies to help you get to your financial freedom, whether it be through real estate investing, stock market investing, creating additional streams of income, credit card arbitrage, or starting and growing a business. If that's something that you might be interested in, there's an email address in the description box of the video. Send me an email and let's discuss if I'm the right fit for you.